This video is on how to fill out the cost sheet. What I've done is I've taken a grade 10 project, the shelf box that we're going to make this year in grade 10, and I'm going to go to the material, supply, and cutting diagram. I'm going to use these numbers here, these letters here, and I'm going to use that to fill out the cost sheet that I sent you guys the other day. So first of all, I'm going to start by putting in my name, Mr. Taylor, then the project, it's going to be shelf box. All right, then I'm going to come over here where we see items. So the item is going to match up with the different parts of the box. So right here we have A, two sides. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to go, the item is going to be A, and the item is going to be sides. Now the sheet says we need two of them. So there we go, we have two. Okay, I'm going to go back over here, and I'm just going to fill those three columns in for the first four pieces. So now we have B, we have the top, and there's one piece, only one. So now I'm going to come back here, I'm going to go B, top, one. And I'm going to go back. All right, so the next two are going to be C, the bottom one, D, the styles, 4. Same thing back here. C, the bottom, we need 1, and then D, the styles, and that's 4. Okay, so that's what we got so far. So now we're going to go back and figure out what the type of wood it is. So we're going to go over here and we're going to look on their sheet. And we're going to see that the A's, the B, the C are all made out of solid white oak. And our D, 1, 2, 3, 4, are made also out of solid white oak. So when we come back over here to the type of wood, we're going to write down solid oak. Solid oak. Ditto marks, ditto marks. Okay, so now let's go see, we got to figure out what the thickness of each piece is, what the width is, and what the length is. So we're going to go back over here. This is written down thickness, width, and length. And this length is actually a rough length. Okay, so what we want to do here is we're going to take these numbers and we're going to actually we're going to round them up, because when we cut the wood we're going to lose some of the material. So instead of writing down 1/2 and 5 1/2 and 8 5/8, I'm going to write down 1, 6, and 9. So over here, thickness, I have 1, width 6, length 9. And we're going to go back up here, do the same thing with the B's. 1/2 by 5 1/2 by 10 1/2. So now we're going to go 1, 6, 11. Come back down here. 1, 6, and 11. Next one has got 1/2, 5 1/2, and 12 3/16. So we're going to go 1, 6, 13. Go back in here, we got 1, 6, and 13. And then for the D, the styles, we got 1, 2, and 9. All right, and I got that from these numbers over here: 3/4, 1 15/16, and 8 3/4. Okay, so that's all we need right now. I'm not going to do all of them. I'm just going to give you an example of what you're going to do. Now we have to figure out how many square inches each one of these pieces represents. So if you go over here, it tells you to calculate square inches, multiply the width times the length times the number of pieces. Okay? So we'll go back here. The width times the length times the number of pieces. We don't have to multiply by the thickness because it's all 1. Okay, so now we're going to go 6 times 9 is 54 times 2 is 108. So 108. 6 times 11 is 66, and times 1 is 66. 6 times 13, what is that? 78. Then we got 2 times 9 is 18, times 4, 72. So that's how many square inches of material we're going to need. But we need to figure out how many square feet or how many board feet. So in order to do that, come over here. To calculate the square feet, divide the square inches by 144. So now I'm going to do each one of those. 108 divided by 144. 66 divided by 144, 78 divided by 144, and 72 divided by 144.